That's how we starting this thing off. Nice and spicy. Well, it's been a while. So first of all, welcome back. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Please remember to click, like, share, subscribe. You know, all the things that you do when you come to these videos right here. So really quickly, today is going to be a quick catch me up. Because if you have been following me on TikTok, I do videos here and there, just kind of taking you guys along with me when I go to doctor's appointments or giving you feelings about how my doctor's appointments went, some information that I may have received, etc., etc., so on. So that's what we on today. So this week or this past week, I went to an OBGYN appointment, and not to give TMI, but I went to OBGYN appointment because like my cycles have always been kind of irregular. And so I just kind of, listen, when it comes to me, if my heart is working, if my heart is fine, if my chest don't hurt, everything else just gonna have to listen and pay attention, right? So I don't really go to like doctor's appointments or any other for any other matter other than like going to see my cardiologist if I, have to have a checkup with my heart or if I'm having chest pain. Like, but I'm getting out of that. And so I've been going to see OBGYN to kind of discuss like what's going on, because at first I just kind of chalked it up to my heart condition, and I was like, oh, it's my medications. And they were like, no, like your medicines shouldn't have anything to do with that. And so I ended up seeing OBGYN. I've been going to OBs on and off for years. I am a grown woman, so I definitely take care of my business. But this time around, I have been seeing, or I went to go see an OB because I have been talking about the P word with my cardiologist. And in my cardiology appointments, this P word is prohibited, okay? It is forbidden, okay? It is the loudest curse word that could probably ever come out of my mouth. And that P word is pregnancy. Pregnancy, planned parenting, like all of the things that equate to me conceiving, carrying, and giving birth to a child from thine own womb, okay, have every doctor that I see in shambles. And when I say shambles, I mean the chokehold shambles that they will not release. And so recently in my adult years, like I've been going to see my cardiologist, and every cardiologist has told me, like, no, don't do it. You too high risk. You could die. Death. It's the worst thing ever, right? And I don't know if you know, but I know that I'm definitely God's best friend. And I try my best not to be that patient who like dismisses all of the medical information and like all of the medical guidance when it comes to my health, because that's what we have doctors for. They have that knowledge, they went to school, etc. I try not to be that patient, but at the same time, like, my faith is what has gotten me thus far, and that is where I am in this season in life. Like, this season of congenital heart disease, adulting, all of the things is a faith season for me. Because like my main cardiologist is like, no, absolutely not. Like, don't even think about it. Do everything you can to prevent it. Even when I was back home in Maryland and DC, like my cardiologist there was like, no, don't think about it. And granted, like those are my peds cardiologists. Like I've kept like my pediatric cardiologist, and I also had an adult congenital heart team there. But like they looked at me as their little baby girl, and they're like, oh no, we're not doing that. But like here, being in Georgia, being in Atlanta, going to like Emory, like my main cardiologist says no. But I did see like another cardiologist, you know, just to get like a second opinion. And he didn't say no. And I'm mindful not to get too excited at the fact that he didn't say no, you know, because it's like I don't want to go to the cardiologist that just agreed with what I said and like said what I wanted to hear to make me happy. But the things that he said, I already knew. Like, I'm not just going into this thing blindly. I did my research, right? Like, when it comes to me, you know, thinking about conceiving and carrying and giving birth to a child, we have to take into consideration my medications. Like, we have to take into consideration my heart. Any mother that carries a child, your body works for two, right? So your body works for two. My body is already overloading for just me. So when I get pregnant, that's more blood that my body has to pump out. That's more nutrition that my body has to give. That my heart is already doing the double work for. And so the idea is don't get pregnant, because what's going to happen, or what could happen, is, you know, your heart eventually is going to get tired from being overworked and going to give out, which leads to heart failure. And I'm like, I get it. I hear you. I've done my research. I've heard the stories. I get it. But there is something about being a woman and being told that you can't conceive, like you can't get pregnant, right? Like, it's a difference if I'm a woman and I choose not to conceive, I choose not to have children. There is a difference in telling me no, I can't do it, because now a part of me is like, not only am I gonna prove you wrong, but let me show you how God really got my back, right? Like, that's the space that I'm in right now. But it's also this weird space because I'm like, I don't want to get into a position where the risk is oh so high, and because I was just hard-headed about it and like, I want to prove you wrong and I want to conceive and I can do it and I can do it, that I put myself into an unnecessary position. But that's that on that. So I've been dealing with that. You know, my cardiologist is like, look, you need to go see a high-risk OBGYN if you've been thinking about it. So I was like, bet, give me the referral. And you can tell, like, my cardiologist, he's sick of me. I told him prepare to be sick of me from the first day that I met him, and he is sick of me. And that's great. I love that for him. But he did it, and he got me the referral. And so I went to go see the OB that he referred me to, but they were just like a regular OB. And so then they referred me to a maternal fetal medicine OBGYN, which is a high risk OB that I need to go see. So I'm awaiting that phone call to get scheduled with them. And that phone call is the one that I am going to discuss, like, the possibility and the risk, as if I don't know. And it was just so crazy because, like, when I seen this OBGYN, and mind you, like, I'm not upset when I talk to these people, because I get it. It's your job. Like, your job is to protect me. I'm your patient. You do everything you can in your power to help me understand the risk and all those things. But, like, literally when I seen this OBGYN, he was like, so how many doctors is it going to tell you to change your mind and not want to do it? And I was like, there's no number. There is no number, right? And so I just found that, like, just so hilarious to me, because I'm just like, I get it. It's your job, but you met your match. So that's where we are. But then also in that appointment, not only am I dealing with being a congenital heart patient, talking about pregnancy, like, I was pretty much told, like, I don't like to say the word because I feel like, you know, life and death lies in the power of the tongue, and you don't need to be saying nothing that you don't believe. But in this earthly realm right now, they're pretty much saying, like, oh, you know, your body isn't even releasing the egg, therefore you don't ovulate. And if you don't ovulate, then you can't get pregnant. So if you put two and two together, what they're trying to tell me. So I've been dealing with those emotions. Like, not only am I a congenital heart patient who has been told, no, don't get pregnant. Now I have someone telling me that my body is like, honey, you can't even get pregnant. Like, if you wanted to. Because your body ain't doing what it need to do to get you pregnant. And so I have just been like praying about that. And just been talking to God about that. And mind you, I'm not rushing. Because like, one thing's for sure, two things for certain. I'm not pushing no baby out for no man that ain't my husband. And I said what I said. But just the thought, just the thought, and it creeps into my mind every now and again, like it hurts, right? It's like this stab, it's like this unexpected jolt in your gut that goes to your heart. And it's like, are you telling me like I can't become a mother? And like, mind you, I have had this conversation with myself, with God, and now with my boyfriend of like, what are the alternatives to starting a family? Not because of the diagnosis that I have from the OB, but before I was even thinking about carrying just for my heart, I've thought about, you know, surrogacy, and of course like adoption. But if I'm being honest, don't eat me up, don't chew me up, okay? Like, adoption is my absolute last, I barely want to do an option. Like, I get it. If I gotta do it, I gotta do it. I'ma love it. I'ma love the process. I'm gonna be patient. I'm gonna love my baby. Like, it's gonna be mine. I got you. But it's just something that is sacred to me, as every other woman and every other mother in the world, right? Like, having your child, your genes, like your genetics come from you, that is something that I desire, and I know the Lord hears my desires, and I know that I'll get that. But yeah, so we've been like having that discussion. We've had it plenty of times. But listen, when I tell you, like, I've always joked about like Sarah and Abraham in the Bible. Go read your Bible. Go read your Bible. Like, I always joked about Sarah and Abraham in the Bible, how, you know, Sarah was barren and she couldn't bear Abraham a child, and she gave Hagar, who was her maidservant, to her husband to bear him a child because he wanted a son, he wanted a legacy, he wanted a child. And so he, you know, he slept with Hagar. Hagar bore him a son, named him Ishmael, and years later Sarah bore Isaac. Okay, Sarah bore Isaac because Isaac was a promise from God. But remember, Sarah was like 90 when she gave birth to Isaac, and Abraham was older than her. So literally, when the angel of God like came to Sarah and was like, you know, you're going to conceive and all this kind of stuff, Sarah laughed, legit laughed, like in denial. Like, she's like, I'm old. There's no way that I'm going to bear a child. Like, and you know, her husband had his sons. They were content. Boom. But eventually she got her promise. And that is how I feel. Like, again, the same thing happened with Rebecca in the Bible, who was Isaac's wife, actually. Yep. Now that I think of it. But anyway, Isaac's wife, Rebecca, couldn't bear a child either. But then Hannah, the story of Hannah, Hannah was barren and she went to go pray to God about her son, and you know, the watchman of the tabernacle where she was praying thought that she was drunk because she was praying, but no words were coming out of her mouth. She was praying in the spirit, and they thought she was drunk, and she was like, I'm not drunk, like, I'm praying to God. But yeah, God ended up blessing her. But I truly feel like I am like in that space where Sarah was, and I get it. I understand why she did what she did, as far as like wanting to give her husband the legacy that she knew he wanted. and she took things into her own hands after God already made her a promise. But goodness gracious, like, it's a whole thing, y'all. Go read your Bible. That was a quick Bible study. But yeah, I understand, and I'm in that space. So pray with me, pray for me, and I'm just here being a miracle that God chose me to be. Don't be surprised when I come on here a few years from now doing a welcome baby show, okay? Don't be surprised, because it's coming. I don't know when, but I know it will. So that is where I'm at in my CHD journey. Like, having a congenital heart disease, being a woman who wants to start a family, and then on top of that, being told by the OBGYN who's like, I don't know about that. So, yeah. It's only leaving room for miracles, y'all. Like, I am so excited. Like, this is what the Bible meant when it said, count it joy. Like, count it joy when you are going through your trials and tribulations. Like, I am so excited because this not only means like it has to be a miraculous thing for me to just like carry a child safely and give birth safely, but now on top of that, like, it gotta be a double miracle because your girl is like, her body's like, no ma'am, all the way around in every aspect, like from top to bottom. My body is like, no ma'am. But my heart, my soul, my spirit, my faith is like, let me show you something, right? So I am truly excited to see just how this miracle unfolds, because it is only crazy until it happens, and I cannot wait for it to happen so that we can see just how crazy my God is, okay? And just how crazy I am for believing and trusting in him, that he is a promise keeper. God is a promise keeper, and I know that for 10 facts, okay? And I'm just gonna do what I gotta do and walk this thing called faith out, because faith is for things that is not seen but rather hoped for. And when you lose your hope in something, that is how the enemy gets you. Because if I was to get sad and down, like, oh, well, I don't got to worry about conceiving, I just need to go to plan B, or really plan D, which would be adoption, right? Because now my body's not even producing the eggs and what it needs to do to even conceive a child in the beginning. So now I got to go to adoption. So now my hope is gone. We're not doing that. We're not doing that around here, okay? This just puts my hope on 10 million to be like, okay. Like, you really want God to show out for me, right? And so it's just like, I'm hopeful. I'm grateful that God continues to choose me, because in God choosing me, it just strengthens me, because it is not easy. I get sad. Like, and then it's that time when you want something, or you're praying for something, and everybody around you seems to be getting what you want. Okay? But I am not sad. I am so joyful. And the people around me are blessing me with children, okay? Like, I got a god baby on the way. I have another niece on the way. Like, everyone's pregnant. And I am so excited. Like, I am still in the rich auntie season, where I can keep them for a day and send them back. I love that for me. But this was just a quick, how you doing? A quick catch me up. Apparently a quick Bible study. Go read your Bible. You got Sarah, Rebecca, and Hannah to read about. Go. But I love y'all. Of course, if you have any questions, any topic that you want to discuss, hit me up in the comment section. I got you. Love you.